Good morning, Beulah Church. It's me, Gabe here, and I am excited that we are now in the season of Advent, as we talked about yesterday at church. But I want to actually invite you to consider this particular devotion sort of this time of preparation. I am inspired this morning by a devotional called Pauses for Advent, which was written by Trevor Hudson, and he talks about in the first little chapter this season of preparation, or this time of preparation that Advent really is. And his first chapter is inspired by Isaiah chapter 40, verses 1 through 8. So I'm going to go ahead and read that for us. It says, comfort my people, says our God. Speak tenderly to Jerusalem and proclaim to her that her hard service has been completed, that her sin has been paid for, that she has received from the Lord's hand double for all her sins. A voice of one calling in the wilderness, prepare the way for the Lord. Make straight in the desert a highway for our God. Every valley shall be raised up, every mountain and hill made low. The rough ground shall become level, the rugged places a plain. And the glory of the Lord will be revealed, and all people will see it together, for the mouth of the Lord has spoken. A voice says, cry out, and I said, what shall I cry? All people are like grass, and all their faithfulness is like the flowers of the field. The grass withers and the flowers fall, because the breath of the Lord blows on them. Surely the people are like grass. The grass withers and the flowers fall, but the word of our Lord endures forever. So I'm going to read here from this devotion. I actually have it on my computer, so unfortunately I can't show it to you. But again, it's called Pauses for Advent. It's written by Trevor Hudson, and one of my professors actually in seminary inspired me with it. So it's written as this: Advent is all about preparing ourselves for the coming Messiah, who has already come in the past, continually comes to us the here and now, and will come again in the future. The question we ask today is this: how do we prepare ourselves so that he can come into our lives, into our relationships, and into the fractured and broken world we live? In Isaiah 40, we find three preparation hints. First, we prepare by clearing a straight path through the wilderness. The wilderness is a lonely place. We are surrounded today by so many people living in loneliness. Often we find Christmas season accentuates that loneliness. Connecting with a lonely person can open a pathway for Jesus to touch his or her life. Or when we find ourselves feeling lonely, we can risk connecting with someone who may help us meet Jesus anew. Second, we prepare by leveling the mountains and the valleys. Mountains and valleys symbolize those barriers that make us feel as though we are separated from Jesus. For example, such barriers may be hunger, poverty, unemployment, or mental health issues. Engaging these obstacles for ourselves and on behalf of others can prepare the way for Jesus to come to those who struggle. Third, we prepare by remembering we are like grass. Grass symbolizes our fragility, our vulnerability, and our weakness. We spend so much of our lives running from this reality, and we often miss the grace, mercy, and steadfastness of Jesus, who is strength in our weakness. Embracing the reality of our frailty opens up possibilities for encountering the living Christ. Advent holds before us the challenge of preparation. Are we interested enough in Jesus, who makes our path straight through the wilderness, who levels the mountains and the valleys of our lives, and who reminds us that his word will stand forever? So, Beulah, I'm asking you, are we interested enough in Jesus in such a way that he would straighten our paths, he would level the mountains and valleys, and he would remind us that his word remains forever, even while we are frail and fragile? And so I want to challenge you, Beulah Church, as we enter into the Advent season, as we have entered into the Advent season, would you make one phone call to someone who is feeling lonely or struggling, and let him or her know that you're in their thoughts, or that they are in your thoughts and prayers, and ask maybe how could you serve that person? How could you serve that person who might be lonely or struggling? So, and then keep that person, of course, in your prayer life. So thank you all so much for tuning in. I hope that the Advent season is, as it is different, is something that we're able to kind of enter into together and enter into hope. So I hope that this is a hopeful season for you. I pray that you are encouraged, and I pray that that as we get closer and closer to the coming of Jesus, as we get closer to the celebration of Jesus's first coming, and of course eventually his second coming, I pray that you all are hopeful in this season. So God bless. See you later.